Did you put Christmas on a credit card? Don't stress out about that extra holiday spending. SaveWithConrad.com can help you consolidate all of your high interest rate credit cards into one much lower monthly payment. SaveWithConrad.com has helped families just like yours save up to $800 a month. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. And did I mention no payments until March? So don't make saving money a resolution next year. Make it happen today at SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.
You know what that means? It's Thursday. That means it's time for Grilling JR with the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. Jim, how are you, man?
It's like being the skinniest kid at fat camp, Conrad. The voice of wrestling. I'm kind of proud of that distinction. Look at that. Look at my office. It's kind of cool looking.
We are excited to be with you here today. Jim, you sound like your old self today. You're in a good mood. You're in good spirits today, Bubba.
I'm just high.
Well, there you go. Hey, whatever it takes. We appreciate all of our great sponsors here on the program. And we think pretty highly of you guys. We dug deep into our archives, thanks to our friend Daniel, and we've got something really, really special. You know, a lot of people have sort of held the 1989 trilogy between Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as almost like the gold standard for the trilogies in professional wrestling. And most people would say those are three of the finest matches you could ever see. There's always a debate. Is your favorite Chicago? Is it New Orleans? Is it Nashville? But these are legendary matches that people have talked about for years and years, and we've all seen them. But if you ask the participants in those matches, hey, which is your favorite? Inevitably, you might hear something like, man, you should have seen us in 84 back when we were really good.
Yeah.
And we have footage from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair from 1984 on deck today. We're going to talk about the individual match a little later, but you were fortunate enough to get to call those matches in 1989. And I know that you've held them in high regard for years and years. Other famous trilogies would be like, you know, obviously Okada and Omega comes to mind in the more recent era, but in the most previous generation, Rock and Austin, 3 WrestleMania main events. Where do you think Flair, Steamboat, and their trilogy lands all time for you, Jim?
Oh, it's right there. It's as high up as she could get without being the only one. They just had such amazing chemistry. They liked each other. The key thing, they respected each other. And when you find that element present, it's hard to not have a great match when you're talking about two guys like Flair and Steamboat.
I can't wait for us to take a look at this. Stay tuned. We are going to have the voice of professional wrestling call a Matt Classic with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Nature Boy himself from 1984. One you've probably never seen. Stay tuned for that.
How long is that match?
It's about 34 minutes, I believe, bell to bell.
Oh, good, Conrad. Take it easy on JR. That's good.
Hey, you know what? I want to mention, hopefully everybody's taking it easy on you because AEW is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's happening in January. Tickets are on sale now at AEWTIX.com. Jim, there's rumor and innuendo that AEW in Oklahoma, there may be a black hat roaming around backstage somewhere. What do you think?
I think that rumor is valid. I'll be there without question. I hope folks get their tickets and join us. I hear that AEW is planning a special night with OJR in mind, which is will be fun. Maybe I won't have to kiss anybody, Tony Khan's ass, or get beat up or anything crazy. So I'm very thankful and grateful that Tony Khan and his crew came up with that idea, and I'm more than happy to cooperate.
Well, we are excited that AEW is coming to Oklahoma. You should be too. If you're a good old JR fan, JR is going to be in the house. Come hang out with him at AEWTIX.com. And of course, before we get to Tulsa, we're going to be making a stop off in Hoffman Estates, the Chicago area, the home of the original All In and StarCast. It's the Now Arena that's going to host AEW's World's End pay-per-view. It's going to happen just a couple of days after Christmas. I believe it's going to be Saturday, December 27th at the Now Arena. And I know that we're going to, get to the bottom of the Continental Classic. And when you think about great wrestling and tournaments, a lot of people would look at like a New Japan G1 or something like that. AEW, I think, could argue they've maybe got the strongest tournament in wrestling right now, the Continental Classic. What do you think of the Continental Classic, Jim?
Good idea. It's different. It utilizes the talent. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a new opportunity to give the talent positive exposure. So I think it's cool. Thinking a little bit outside the box is always a interesting situation.
It's fun too, because we're actually going to see some matches in the Continental Classic happen overseas. As you and I are recording, AEW today is in Atlanta, filming their Winter is Coming event later tonight, which will be broadcast live, of course, on TBS. But then we've got the whole European tour. They're going to be hitting Cardiff, Wales, and they'll be hitting Manchester. And then we're going to wind down the year at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. And then the big blow off for AEW in 2025, World's End. There's been a lot of great wrestling in AEW this year, including their monster event this past July. This has been a pretty strong year as a wrestling fan. If you're a fan of AEW, boy, you saw a lot of great matches in 2025, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, sure did. I think I like it when they venture outside the box. They create some new marriages, new matches. I think that's kind of cool. I think fans, I've said this a lot, fans like new and they like to be surprised. And certainly you're going to get some surprises with all these crazy matchups. But I think it's a good idea. You got to change things up a little bit. You can't throw fastballs all the time. You got to throw a few off speeds, and they do that a good job at that.
Well, what I enjoy about the Continental Classic is, and I couldn't believe it, a couple of weeks ago when I was lucky enough to be in Nashville for Dynamite, they opened the freaking show with Kyle Fletcher and Okada. Like that felt like a guaranteed pay-per-view main event, but no, it actually opens the show on free TV. Later that night, though, we saw a star-making performance from Kevin Knight in a win over Darby Allin. Unfortunately, Darby Allin was hurting for certain on the other side of that. I know it was the talk backstage that night, and I guess he wound up spending a few days in the hospital. I heard an interview earlier today of Darby on the radio saying he feels amazing. He feels fantastic, but AEW has still not cleared him to perform. So he's going to be replaced in the Continental Classic. But what I loved about this interview I heard with Darby is he said something along the lines of, AEW is protecting me from myself right now.
That's
and
true.
It made me think.
That's true.
You probably had to do that once upon a time with Mick Foley in WWE, didn't you?
Yeah, and he wasn't the only one. You guys try to one up their brethren, their peers, steal the show, blah blah blah, whatever cliche you want to utilize. But yeah, sometimes guys it's almost like a panic button. I got to get noticed. I want to be a star, so I need to do this, and that's kind of how this whole thing sorts out, in my opinion. But I think it's a great idea.
Well, we're all pulling for Darby Allin. I think it's pretty obvious that he's one of the true pillars of AEW, one of the biggest fan favorites, one of the biggest needle movers. He's got a lot of diehard fans, and man, you got to respect what that dude's done. He's put his body on the line time after time after time.
Yeah.
And we've seen him do so much crazy stuff. I think a lot of fans would be surprised to hear. I mean, I know we all grew up on the old "don't try this at home." But there weren't like these crazy, there was no fire, there's no glass, there's no thumbtacks. Man, just a regular old boot to the head sometimes, that does enough, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don't do too much, because you can't put what is the old thing, the genie back in the bottle.
Right.
Go do it. And Darby's fearless. I love Darby. He's for those just fans that don't know him, they would never know what a sweetheart of a guy that he is. I worry about him all the time because he never goes into a match without high expectations and without willing to take a chance. And some of these days, I've told him, I said, some of these days, your luck's going to run out, because he does things that if you just miss it by an inch or two, you're in trouble. And sometimes he dodges the bullet and sometimes he doesn't.
Well, we're pulling for him. No, he's going to be back stronger than ever, sooner rather than later. If you ever have an opportunity to meet him at some sort of convention or something in your neck of the woods, I highly recommend it, especially if you've got a young fan with you. He spends a lot of time with those kids, and he takes his role pretty seriously. He's one of the good apples in pro wrestling, the real life Darby Allin.
Agreed.
Hey, and I want to show some love to this Continental Classic. All of my hardcore sicko fans or friends who were fans of AEW, they absolutely are jazzed up for this tournament, especially because we know that the crowds have been so interesting. I love the venue in Nashville. I love that we got to see some matches at GalaxyCon, and I know tonight running the Gateway Center in Atlanta, they ran that building earlier this year. Super fun building, but I don't know. It feels like there's a different vibe when they go abroad. So I'm really looking forward to these international matches in the Continental Classic. And there's something about wrestling in the Hammerstein Ballroom to me. Did the venue ever add anything to you to maybe a sense of occasion?
It adds to, it does. It does. I don't think, I'm trying to remember, I'm not sure I ever called a match in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Wow, we got to fix that.
It's a historic building, venue, seen some of the classic matchups of this era, this generation. So I'm a big fan of doing things differently, and not just doing them differently do something different. Do something differently to make that product better. Man, I got to shave, Conrad. Look at these white whiskers. What do you think of that?
I think we can help you with that.
It looks like Santa Claus.
Well, everybody knows JR loves his ho-ho-hos. I mean, if you've been on the naughty list, maybe stop by JR's house. I don't know. You know, most supplements are a guessing game. You never know what's really in them, and even if they're tested for label accuracy. That's why my wife and I trust Momentous. Their creatine is NSF certified for label transparency and trusted by professional athletes and even the United States military. So you know you're getting the best. I got to tell you, the Momentous creatine every day has been a game changer in my life. My wife was on me for years to actually start trying this every day. But when she found Momentous, she was like, hey, this is the one. You see, creatine isn't just for muscle gains. It's essential daily fuel for your brain, your body, and your long-term performance, especially for guys our age. I'm going to say I started to feel a difference at like 35. Man, let me just say, I feel a little sharper now. Momentous Creepier creatine is backed by leading performance experts like Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Stacy Sims. Sourced exclusively in Germany, Creepier creates the gold standard for creatine, delivering the purest form, creatine monohydrate, that's rigorously washed and never cut with fillers. Every batch is independently tested for purity, safety, and label accuracy, and it's even NSF certified for sport. That's why it's trusted by Olympic athletes, professional sports teams, and yes, even the U.S. military. They've got these brand new travel packs too. I really rock with the lemon flavor. I love it. And I got to tell you, it makes staying consistent effortless. Just dump it in some water and here we go. They're naturally flavored, perfectly portioned, and easy to mix with water anywhere, anytime. They've got more than 2,000 five-star reviews and more than 112,000 customers have seen the results firsthand. With Momentous, the fundamentals are done right. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first subscription order with the promo code JR. Go to livemomentous.com and use the promo code JR for up to 35% off of your first subscription order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code JR. I do want to mention, this weekend is going to be a big weekend for WWE fans or just really wrestling fans. It's John Cena's last match, and we're just days away. It's happening this Saturday at Saturday night's main event. You asked me before we went live here today, hey, where is that? It's on Peacock. You'll be able to see it on Peacock from the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., which interestingly enough, this is where it's the end of the road for John Cena. That same building was the beginning of the road for AEW. That's where they had their first ever televised Dynamite. But December 13th is going to be a day that will now live in wrestling infamy. John Cena and Gunther. It's his last match. and he's announced that he signed a 5-year deal with WWE to stay on as an ambassador. So it's not just his last match in WWE. This feels like this is probably his last match ever. And he did a bunch of interviews this week saying no more physicality ever. And now there's a lot of internal discussion amongst the internet wrestling community. Should John Cena win his last match and send the fans home happy in Washington, D.C., or do you let the big, mean, nasty foreign heel get a win in Washington, D.C. on John Cena's last night? What do you think, Jim?
I'm hanging my black hat on Gunther. I think that's the right thing to do. He's going to be around. He's a key member of the roster. This is an opportunity for the company to improve their lot, shall we say, because it's a match that a lot of people want to see. I want to see this. That was my choice. If you didn't do Lesnar, Gunther is a great choice for Cena's last match. And they'll have a dandy, no doubt about that. I'm a big, big fan of Gunther. And we'll see how good he really is come this weekend.
I can't wait to see the show this weekend. It does feel like it's going to have a sense of occasion for John Cena's last match. You know, you've been there for some pretty iconic moments in John Cena's career. Mm-hmm. And I know that at different times the audience was split on him. You know, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Well, that was all part of the fun. You know, you were pulling for him or pulling for his opponent, but you got lost in the story, and that's what was probably most important. But with the benefit of hindsight, how do you think John Cena will be remembered? What will be his legacy in professional wrestling, Jim?
Well, I don't know if he'll be known as the greatest of all time to the masses, but he's certainly one of the small handful of talents that could have that distinction. He got better and better. You know, when I started recruiting him, I think he was training at Rick Bassman's school or camp, whatever you want to call it, out there in Los Angeles area. And I made several trips out there. I think Bruce did too. Bruce liked those road trips for some unknown reason. And but he's had a great career, man. And he worked hard. That's what happens when you find out that a guy you're recruiting was the captain of his college football team, was a guy that never missed a practice. And I got lucky on that deal because one of the assistant coaches at Cena's college was a guy that I know and we know, and so he was just he made the cut. He worked his ass off, and he had a lot of pushback for whatever reason. Jealousy was a huge issue that he had to overcome from some of his peers. But I always thought it's kind of like they say in football: you're better your quarterbacks are better the second year as your starter than they are the first year. And I think that's the case here with John. He just kept getting better because he's an athlete, a real, true athlete who wanted to get better and wanted to represent his profession admirably and responsibly. You know, he was so reliable. Golly, he was reliable. And he made so many Make-A-Wish visits and all these things. So I'm proud of the life that John Cena has built for himself. You know, it's nothing strange, Conrad, to turn the TV on and hear John Cena's voice over a national commercial. He's just he's building himself a brand, and he's the brand, and that's smart.
I'm excited for what's next with John Cena. I know some of my comic book fans or friends who were fans, they have loved his show on HBO. I think it's called Peacemaker. And I hope if he really has dreams of pursuing Hollywood full time, that he's successful. It certainly feels like Rock has sort of laid the blueprint for all that. And speaking of The Rock, there's a lot of people who are speculating about who may or may not be in attendance this weekend. I know Bully Ray has suggested that he thinks we may see The Rock at John Cena's last match. Would you be surprised to see the real life Dwayne Johnson in DC on Saturday?
No, not really. If he's available and he's not booked doing something else or on location or what have you, he'd be a great addition to that presentation. But I got to tell you, I'd be a little bit surprised if he was there, just because of his outside interests and other things that may have him preoccupied. But I'm excited about this weekend. It sounds like it's going to be full of surprises.
Well, the world wants to know, is Vince going to be there? Is the president going to be there? Is The Rock going to be there? Well, you can watch it on Peacock. The rest of the card is rounding out to the NXT champion, Obafemi, challenging Cody Rhodes, QB1. So you've got champions of your C brand, respectfully, versus the big champ, the champ, Cody Rhodes. There's been some discussion online already about this, and I can already imagine what people are going to say on the other side of this match, Jim. If Femi loses, people are going to say, oh, WWE buried him. But I can't make any sense of how the guy who ended Roman Reigns' streak and, finished the story and wrestled and beat John Cena at WrestleMania. I mean, all this stuff. Like, it feels like Cody has to win. How can they not have Cody win? What would you do in this one, Jim?
Put Cody over.
Yeah.
Wouldn't waste too many brain cells on trying to figure that one out. I'd put Cody over, but Cody has an opportunity with his skill set and his reputation, his presence, to really help this Oba kid. He's a good-looking, big, athletic guy, but I don't think he's that big and that athletic to beat Cody. They've done a great job of building Cody up. Now he'll be in a position to where we got you here, and now one of the things we got you here for is to help make other talent. And Cody's got a great opportunity here to really make Oba look like a big monster before he loses.
The rest of the card has Bayley versus Saul Ruka, and the World Tag Team titles on the line as well. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending against Evans and Slater. Kind of a crossover deal here. TNA getting a little love on Peacock for Saturday night's main event. I got to say, I don't think I ever would have imagined that this is what the undercard of John Cena's last match looks like. But if John really was adamant on focusing on the future, boy, it's loaded up with a lot of young talent, isn't it?
Yes. And that's good. You got to find different ways to expose the younger talents and put them into an environment where they have some freedom to grow. And that's a lot of that's up to the guy that's calling the match, and that'll be Cody. So I think I'm very curious. I'm very curious, and I'm very interested in how that match is structured.
It all happens this weekend, and it's happening in Washington, D.C. And since we've been recording this morning, it's come out that even though he was absent from the most recent Saturday night's main event, Jesse the Body Ventura will be in Washington, D.C. for John Cena's last match. I'm wondering, how many sort of tributes do you think we're going to see? Like, do you imagine that this weekend is going to be nonstop video quotes and celebrations and tributes of John Cena all throughout the show? That's the way it feels to me. It doesn't feel like it'll be just another Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, they'll have an opportunity, and they should have a big audience to really give some guys some positive exposure. We talked about Oba. Same theory applies. This is a chance for him to go out and have his best match he's ever had in his life. And this happens to be against one of the best workers in the world, in Cody Rhodes. So I don't know, Connie. I think there's a lot of good things that can happen out of this weekend, no matter who wins or loses.
Well, we're all looking forward to seeing John Cena's last match and what that celebration is going to look like. I know this sounds silly, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Were you contacted by WWE to get some sort of quote about John Cena?
No. Are you kidding me? Why would they do that? It's wrestling. I don't work for them. But I would have been happy to do it. And I'm sure that if they had requested something, that Tony Khan would have blessed it, because he's a wrestling fan. And if he and the powers that be thought that I could help out a little bit, I'd love to be a part of it, just simply because, John Cena was one of my guys. was recruiting John Cena was not an individual effort. It was a team effort. And once everybody found out how spectacular that he might become, everybody kind of jumped on that bandwagon. So, and that which caused jealousy on the talent roster, because all of a sudden this new kid comes in, this amazing athletic body, hard worker, tough. He's a grinder. So I think this weekend, as the more we talk about it, the more excited I'm getting about we may see in this weekend. That's going to be where?
Washington D.C.
Oh, well,
Capital One Arena.
You said that. God dang it! Yeah. Well, let's tune in and see it. Let's watch it.
John Cena this weekend, the last match that's going to happen, and you're about to watch, well, not the last match that Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat had, but about the 200th. These guys have wrestled each other over and over and over. Starting in the 70s, it was a match made in heaven, and they ran it everywhere. I was able to find this over on Cage Match, and coming into this, they had wrestled 2 nights prior. I guess it was a month prior. My apologies, in Richmond, Virginia. But then a series through the Carolinas of time limit draws, almost like one after another, in Greensboro, in Charlotte, and in Greenville. But they wrestled each other in tags. They wrestled each other in singles. And I know that I shouldn't say I know, I'm not a wrestler, but I would imagine that chemistry in real life plays a big part in the in-ring. But in real life, these guys could not be more different than. Ric Flair was the partier, maybe not so much for Ricky Steamboat.
No.
Why was their chemistry so special, Jim?
It was because of what they could do in the ring with each other. They didn't have any professional jealousies that I'm aware of. If they did, they kept it hidden. And but it was a match made in wrestling heaven. You know, the pearly gates were wide open, and I'm sure about all those old timers that passed away prior to that match were gathered around the old TV set, shall we say. May sound crazy, but they had it. When the first time I called their match, I was amazed of how good it was. As a matter of fact, I told both of them on more than one occasion, "You guys are so friggin' perfect. It's hard to look at this thing as a work." Because they laid it in, they chopped the hell out of each other, they moved around, they had action. It's just they told a great story. And the thing that always impressed me about those two cats is that if they had 100 matches in the Carolinas, the majority of them had a little different texture and feel to it. So everything seemed new and fresh.
What you're about to see went down at the Meadowlands, and I know what you're thinking. The Meadowlands, yeah. The NWA held Night of the Champions 2, and this went down on May 29th, 1984. If you're curious, yes, Jim Crockett Promotions was the promoter, and they were trying to expand into the Northeast. Of course, by this point, Vince McMahon, it's not really his name, but we'll call him Junior, had taken over from his father. And as we know, he was trying to expand nationally and then globally as quickly as he could. So the old promoters understood territories, but he was challenging that in a major way. And so Jim Crockett Promotions decided, that's fine, we'll run one in your backyard. And boy, did they. They pulled out all the big guns here at the Meadowlands, about 12,000 people here in attendance. The undercard included Carlos Colon and Tully Blanchard in a match. Ronnie Garvin and Jake Roberts in a match, Les Thornton and El Gran Apollo, Dusty Rhodes versus the Assassin, the NWA Tag Champs Don Kernoodle and Ivan Koloff against Pez Watley and Mark Youngblood. Wahoo McDaniel goes to a double DQ with Stan Hansen.
Wow, I'd love to see that one.
Come on. And how about this one? The Road Warriors, King Kong Bundy and Jimmy Valiant. Now that is a combination I never thought I would see. We also get Invader and the Great Kabuki. So there's something for everybody on this. It's a who's who. It's littered with Hall of Famers. It's wrestling the way it used to be. And we're about to watch something pretty special here. You heard JR talk at the top of the program about, what the legacy is of these guys' trilogy in 1989. Not a lot of people have seen them wrestle prior to that. So this is a real treat. Tell your friends that they can watch it with JR on the call right here at grillingjr.com. Jim, I think we're ready for you to do what you do best here at the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey.
I think let's do like Ernie Ladd would say. Let's all get on the telephone and call somebody, and let's watch this thing. Watch the psychology. Watch the chain wrestling. Watch the isolation of body parts. Things of that nature. I'm really excited about this, as you can tell.
Flair comes in as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. You'll recall he won at the prior Starrcade at the granddaddy of them all, Thanksgiving night, 1983. He's wrestling like 300 dates a year. Steamboat is the ultimate babyface, and this is a professional wrestling showcase in Vince McMahon's backyard, the Meadowlands, May 29th, 1984. And we've got the one and only good old JR here on the call. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's JR and the best match you've never seen, Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Stay tuned. All right, fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew has just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt, gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand, and this ain't your grandpa's little blue pill either. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and in your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as just 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. Forget Netflix and chill. This is Netflix and Phil. Make life a little easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the promo code JR. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. As a reminder, we couldn't be watching this without some help from our friends. The Ultimate Classic Wrestling Network is where you want to go. It's classicwrestling.net. That's www.classicwrestling.net. These guys are fantastic. We're watching some old school classics, some things you've never seen before, but this has been in their library for a while. And if you were already a subscriber, you could have been enjoying this for years on your Roku, your Fire TV, your Apple TV, the Google Play Store. But don't just go sign up. Use my promo code Conrad30, and you're going to get 30% off when you sign up at classicwrestling.net. If you can't get enough classic wrestling and you love the type of wrestling that JR and I do, you're going to love Ultimate Classic Wrestling. Go check it out for yourself right now at classicwrestling.net. And don't forget to use that promo code Conrad30. You'll get 30% off. And I'm telling you, this isn't the only diamond in the rough over there. There's a lot of crown jewels just waiting for you at classicwrestling.net. Use my promo code Conrad30. But now, without further ado, let's let the voice of professional wrestling do some commentary on the match in professional wrestling. Ric Flair defending the NWA World title against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from Vince's backyard in 1984. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. You'll notice 1983 production values are a little bit different than they are now, but you can tell you can always tell where Flair is. He and Steamboat always had such an amazing athletic presentation. Let's see who that referee is, Conrad. I don't know who the referee is. Is it Errol Hebner or Tommy Young? Probably Tommy Young. So here they go. Oh, now we got lights. Let there be light. Big crowd here. Boy, this is right in the heart of Jim Crockett Promotions. I had a good dream about Jimmy the other night. He's the guy that got me turned on to Crown Royal. If that means anything. Yes, that is Tommy Young. Tommy was a hell of a referee. A little eccentric sometimes, but he was a hell of a referee. Overhand wrist lock applied by Flair. You notice that Flair's going to try to dictate the pace here because he's not as fast or as agile as Steamboat. These are the situations where you don't want to make a mistake. Steamboat under control with a couple of beautiful drop kicks and beating Flair to the punch. That's what I was saying about the speed and the quickness. Steamboat just showed us right there that he's the quicker of the two. Not that that's a revelation. Both these guys stay in great condition. They got a great rivalry that they're building. It'll be hard to find in the world of pro wrestling two guys that have more chemistry and are more talented than Flair and Steamboat. I had not called that many Steamboat matches, if any, maybe one or two, before I went to work for JCP. Tommy Young is so animated, which is good. He cares. He gets in position to make a call. As they say in all sports, and I've officiated a lot of sports, including basketball, football, wrestling, baseball. Did I already say baseball? These guys are just superb. If you're a young wrestler watching this, pay attention. Side headlock. It's hard to believe that back in the day that the legendary Ed Strangler Lewis used to win matches in half-ass shoots for his world title with a headlock. Pretty damn basic. Ed Lewis had that collapsible head, that wooden head with a big car spring, and it held it together. It made a face when he put the head together. Side headlock, takeover. Notice Steamboat keeping everything very basic. These guys, I think, probably have a gut feeling this match is going to use some time. So they're starting out very deliberately. Certainly not that there's anything wrong with that. Setting the plate. Looking for an opportunity. Looking for an opening. Steamboat knows that Flair's looking for a submission win with that figure four. Flair's just got to figure out a way to get Steamboat into a position physically that he can apply some of those submission moves. It's interesting that Flair has got those knee pads protecting his shins. That's always been a trademark of his. And now Flair taking advantage of an opportunity. The door opened and he ran through it. Uh-oh. High backdrop, big elevation. Steamboat entertaining the crowd with that head scissors, side headlock takeover. And look at how quickly Young got in position to make the count. And he got a near fall. Steamboat putting the pressure on Flair. 3 seconds is not very long, folks. Not very long at all. It evens the table in a lot of matches. It's really cool that we have this footage. And we're really happy you're with us to watch it. It's kind of a new thing we're trying out. Seems to be working pretty well so far. We're able to feature a lot. We're going to be able to feature a lot of matches that a lot of folks have never seen, and I would venture to say this is one of them. I've never seen this match. New to me. Oh, look at Steamboat. The one thing about wrestling a guy multiple times is that you start remembering and understanding their tendencies. That would be the case right here. Steamboat wants to make sure that he doesn't beat himself by being careless, taking too many chances. But Flair's in a situation where he can't wait too long before he makes his move offensively. Good look at the shoulders by the referee. Flair trying to create some separation here, but Steamboat is very persistent. Shoulders are down, but not for long. Big crowd on hand. Crowds are always great in the Carolinas as far as participation, noise, passion. I hate to harp on the referee, but he's so damn colorful. Front face lock, meaning that Steamboat is still in control. But what is Flair going to do to counter? He's got to do something. Right back into the turnbuckles. But Steamboat dogmatic, tenacious, not relinquishing the pressure, maintaining control. And that's the key thing. Steamboat is maintaining control of this championship match thus far. Again, back into that turnbuckle. He doesn't care who's the fan favorite or who's the champion or who's not. But look at Steamboat. And he's pit bull-like. There's a lateral press. That's smart by Steamboat. Anytime you get the chance, if you're doing this for a living and you can go for a cover, do it. You never know when a guy will kick out or when he won't. And the longer Steamboat maintains this front face lock, the more confidence he's going to build, the more opportunity it may give him. And that's one way of countering into a suplex, short suplex. Look at Steamboat fight his way to get back into a controlled position. You don't have to take every chance in the world, there's another cover, to have a successful match. Key thing is, especially in Steamboat's situation, just eliminate mistakes. Because Nate will take advantage, being the dirtiest player in the game. Watch Flair. That's the first chop of the match. I promise your ass it won't be the last one. Fistful of knuckles and another hard chop. Those chops don't go out of style. And now look at Steamboat fighting back. You're going to chop me, break my skin apart, then I'm going to do the same damn thing to you. Steamboat smoother than silk. Smoother than cream gravy, ladies and gentlemen. Steamboat's getting some miles out of that headlock. Wow, what a nice high hip lock. Flair, a la Greg the Hammer Valentine, missed his elbow. Comes back with a nice shoulder tackle. And Steamboat's ready this time. Military press into that power slam. Flair in trouble. Steamboat's got to follow up. He may not get too many second chances like he's got right now. Flair would like a timeout. But, as we all know, there are no timeouts. Boy, it's hard to believe how well conditioned these two are. Flair slipped in a knee to the abdomen. That'll help him out a little bit. Now that'll buy him some more time. Steamboat tossed outside, but he's quickly rebounding to the top. And a big karate chop. Knife edge chop off the top. Snap mirror takeover into reverse chin lock. All basic, fundamentally sound wrestling offensive maneuvers. Flair's a great offensive competitor as well. We just haven't had a chance to see that side of him thus far in abundance. Flair forcing Steamboat back into the corner. Tommy Young calling for the break. I'm surprised that Young is breaking Flair on Flair's right side, considering that Flair is right-handed. What do you mean by that, JR? He should step around and come in from the left. Well, that was a good straight right hand. Steamboat doesn't want to take too much of that. He's coming back with a chop himself. Boy, those are stiff, hard chops. Look at Flair. Flair upside down, and a move made famous by the late, great Ray Stevens. Flair knows when to get out, when to stay in, when to break the momentum. It's got to be frustrating for Steamboat. Seems like it is. He'll walk around there with his hands on his hips. But you've got to deal with Flair, and that ain't easy. Great psychologist. Flair's got a plan. There's no doubt about that. He has to have a plan, or he's going to leave here with not what he came looking for, which is a win. I love these old school wrestling atmosphere. You hear the crowds chatter in the background. Side headlock, reverse, go behind. Flair looking for a hammer lock. It's quickly countered. And Flair with the pinning predicament. Flair got the tights. Yes, he does. Why should I not be surprised? Hard tackle. And, that doesn't look good for Steamboat. He got dropped across the rope. I'm sure it took the air out of him. But Flair not in a position at this moment to follow up. Flair methodical. And no, that's not another word for slow. He's just not making any mistakes. He's got a plan. He knows what he wants to do. He knows what he wants to execute. Here could come a knee drop. Absolutely. It's absolutely amazing for a old school broadcaster like myself to be able to call a match like this that I didn't even know existed on tape. Flair trying to negotiate Steamboat. He does. Vertical suplex. Hit his mark. Cover, reach back, hook of the leg, and a near fall. Well, that's what you want to do. Hit an offensive move, then go for a cover if you can. Flair knows that area so well. Steamboat's in trouble. A Wilbur Snyder-oriented abdominal stretch. If you don't know who Wilbur Snyder is, Google it. Tommy Young right there in Steamboat's face to make sure that he doesn't miss a submission call. I don't think I've ever seen Steamboat submit. Maybe I have. I just can't recall it. Because if I have, it's happened so seldomly that I don't recall it. Flair would love to get a submission win here, this abdominal stretch. This would beat a lot of people. There's a handful of hair. Young questioning Flair as if Flair's going to admit his cheating. Ain't going to happen. Boy, this is a painful submission maneuver. This abdominal stretch, another hard chop, unprotected, right across the chest. So now Flair is in firm control of this contest. Flair and Young have a little bit of a rivalry, which maybe familiarity breeds contempt. This inside cradle. Steamboat got an air follow of Flair for that drop, change in direction, change in levels. Sleeper hold. Boy, this will slow anybody down, including the champ. They're keeping it basic and not trying to find themselves into a predicament that where their offense could be exploited into pinning predicaments. Because Steamboat's a master at that. Steamboat's training to continue to add the pressure to that reverse chin lock. Shoulders down, referee there to take a look. There's two and a near fall. Knees up, flat. That's the familiarity can be your enemy, as it was there. Flair knew what was coming. He felt like he knew. He was right, and he bought himself some time. Whereas Steamboat was on the offense for quite some time, he's now in trouble. Look at Steamboat firing up. Fire up, Ricky. Oh, Steamboat drops behind. Again, same thing. Flair to the turnbuckles. There's a cradle and a near fall. And Steamboat is dominating this match offensively. He's got a plan, does Steamboat, and thus far it's working. They're in the ropes. Referee steps in. We'll get a break. Will it be a clean one? Steamboat, wise to Flair's offense, able to block that. Flair thought he had an opening, but he did not. Well, these guys are like blue chip talents, #1 draft picks, whatever cliche you want to use. Wow. Steamboat avoided the contact, but Flair couldn't. Again, that's what I mean when guys know each other so well. They don't make too many mistakes. There aren't too many missteps when these two guys fight. Steamboat hammering Flair across the head. That's got to shake the cobwebs. Scoop slam. Found his mark. Steamboat thinking Flair's not quite ready to go for another cover. He gives Flair a reprieve, but Flair counters. There's an inside cradle. Boy, that's an effective maneuver. Flair able to kick out of that situation. Man, those chops are scintillating. Absolutely scintillating. Flair's got big, thick hands. As Steamboat blocks what looks like an attempt at a suplex and comes back with a suplex of his own. Shoulders are down. Dragon going for the cover. He was reaching back for the outside leg. And in the meantime, Flair got his shoulders squared around where he could kick out. Let's hope Steamboat's not getting frustrated and becoming willing to take a lot of chances. Cross body. Body on body, near fall. Steamboat looking back at Tommy Young to confirm there was a 2 count. Flair able to roll out of the way and avoid the contact of that elbow drop. Steamboat's very aggressive offensively. You can hear those chops echoing throughout the arena, and here comes one of Steamboat. Right to the leg. We know what that means. Figure 4 leg lock. One of those traditional, established submission moves that a lot of guys have used over the years. Flair's got a lot of miles out of that figure 4 over the years. Because right now, Flair's being able to fill his lungs up with oxygen, air, if you will. He's slowing Steamboat down with that figure 4. That'll take a step or two off his quickness. Look at Steamboat trying to turn Flair over, which reverses the pressure. And now the pain goes to Flair's body as the figure 4 has been countered and for a second, enough to hurt Flair's knee. And now Steamboat not wasting any time, not going for an arm bar or a headlock or anything like that, standing right there on the lower extremities. Flair with a hint of desperation, able to kick out of the pressure on his leg. Nate's limping noticeably. Oh, that was pretty cagey by Steamboat. Oh. And now Steamboat goes for the figure 4. What cruel irony it would be if Flair loses at the hands of his own favorite submission maneuver. This would make headlines all over the world. You can see Young asking Flair if he wants to give it up. Flair shaking his head no. Man, this is a battle of conviction. Flair got to the ropes, which is pretty damn smart. Steamboat up quick. Psychologically, with Flair seeing Steamboat up that quickly, I'm sure it gives Steamboat a little rush of adrenaline, and that's one way to get a guy off the ropes. A very fundamentally sound pro wrestling match between two men that are generally considered two of the very best in the world. Steamboat fighting back. There's a great sense of desperation and urgency, immediacy from Steamboat. Flair, the big right hand misses. Steamboat comes back with a chop. It's like a boxing match. Flair went downstairs and now tosses Steamboat outside. You notice there's not a lot of covering or mats or whatever out there. 2 count, near fall, duly noted. Right back to the old reliable inside cradle. Another near fall. But we must remind ourselves this match is not going to be won by points. There's no judging system. The one thing about Flair and those chops, notice how much he follows through. He is a master. Steamboat took a chance, trying to score with a drop kick. Nobody there but air. Flair now back in control of this all-important match that the pro wrestling world has their eyes on. Backbreaker. Near fall coming up. Steamboat reaching back to hold his lower back. Flair beginning to feel the effects of this ultra physical matchup. The Nate's climbing up. Gonna take a big chance. Hand fighting. Will it be enough? No. Oh, Flair slammed off the top. I don't care if you know how to fall or not. Get slammed off the top can do irreversible damage. Oh, look at Steamboat showing his strength, showing control. And when another guy shows control over Ric Flair, you know it's frustrating for Nate. As it would be for anybody, especially in a match like this. Look at Steamboat balancing himself on top. Splash off the top. Tommy Young got a 2 count, but Flair got his feet in the ropes. I don't think Steamboat knew that Flair was that close to the bottom rope. Boy, those chops. You got to wonder how many of these chops slide up to the throat. Because, man, that could be debilitating. Oh, look at this. Steamboat bridging up. Backslide. Near fall. The athletic Steamboat landing on his feet. Rolling Flair up. Could this be it? It's reversed. Flair with a handful of tights. And that's a 3 count. Flair gets a bargain basement victory. As some would say, Flair stole one. In any event, Flair got his hand raised. The dirtiest player in the game did whatever he had to do to win. Can't hate him for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Ultimate Classic Wrestling provided the footage. Bravo, Mr. Ross. I mean, I had a blast watching that. There's a whole lot of more great footage you can check out. ClassicWrestling.net. Be sure to use that promo code Conrad30. You'll save 30% off when you sign up at ClassicWrestling.net. You don't just have to watch it on the computer either. You can enjoy this with your Apple TV, your Apple devices, your Fire TV, your Roku, your Google Play, whatever you got. You can watch it right on screen. You know, life happens fast. 1 minute you're driving home after work. The next, you see flashing lights in your rearview mirror. Your heart skips, your hands tighten on the wheel, and you start asking yourself, what do I do now? That's when you need someone on your side. And with the Legal Buddy app, you can connect with a local attorney in seconds, not hours, not days, but right when you need help. Whether it's a DWI, a car accident, a criminal charge, or even just a traffic ticket, the Legal Buddy app puts real legal support right in your pocket. Imagine having an attorney on call, ready to guide you through some of life's most stressful moments. This isn't a call center. It's not a waiting game. It's direct access to a lawyer who understands your situation and your community, and one who can step in right away. Think about it. When trouble knocks, do you want to face it alone? Or would you rather have the confidence of knowing a professional is already on your side? That's the peace of mind that Legal Buddy gives you. And here's how easy it is. Just download the Legal Buddy app right now at legalbuddyapp.com. Register today and use the referral code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Life is unpredictable. Accidents happen, tickets happen, mistakes happen. But when they do, you don't have to go through it alone. The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download the app today and enter the referral code LEGAL. And I got to tell you, Jim, this was amazing. Like, just hearing you do your thing and call one of the best matches or one of the best rivalries in history in a match I'd never seen, you'd never seen. That was a real treat, man.
Thank you very much. It's fun to do these matches that you haven't seen before. You know, there's a lot of little technical niceties that one could add to that, you know, maybe the audio, but this is a sign of the times. That was 1983. It was a different era, different technology. JCP was going to record this match with limited cameras. They're in the business of making money and saving money. It was excellent. So I'm glad we got to do this match, Conrad. It's a good call, good booking by you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Are you kidding? It's hard to believe, but I believe it was 53 years ago today, as you and I are recording, that in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, Ric Flair had his very first match, a 10-minute time limit draw against George Gadaski. And who would have thought along the way?
Scrap Iron Gadaski.
There you go.
That was his nickname.
His my wife's mother made his ring jacket that night. Leslie Goodman
really
actually made Flair's first ring jacket, and it's hard to believe what led after that. We just saw Flair at his best, May 29th, 1984 at the Meadowlands. It was all a part of Night of Champions 2. They were right there in Vince's backyard, and we're just I don't know, several months away from the very first WrestleMania, but the expansion to go national was already there for Vince. And I had a blast watching that. I love seeing you do your thing. I hope you guys will tell a friend as well. You can watch the video and hear JR on the call only here at grillingjr.com. It's our YouTube. It's totally free. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell. You don't want to miss us the next time we're live. And in the meantime, we want to give a shout out to Daniel and his team who made this footage possible.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel.
Wrestling, yeah, man. ClassicWrestling.net. Use the promo code Conrad30. We're going to find some more hidden gems in there in the coming weeks. We'll also be watching some old school Ring of Honor and a whole lot more. But this is the new format for Grilling JR. We'll talk about the anniversaries of wrestling and whatever the hot news is. And then we're going to let JR do what he does best, which is be the voice of wrestling. Jim, you sounded terrific, man. I don't think you've lost a beat, and I'm excited to see you doing your thing again for AEW. Again, folks, if you haven't already made plans, go see JR in person. He's going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma for AEW in January. Tickets are on sale now at AEWTIX.com. And this time of year is just as good a time as any, Jim, to check out JR'sBBQ.com. They got something for everybody over there, don't they?
Yeah, stocking stuffers galore. Look at all that stuff. Stephen Link was here when I started recording, he's on his way up to our warehouse in Oklahoma City to get some more. Believe it or not, Conrad, this is going to surprise you. We can't keep that damn seasoning in stock. So I hope you guys will check out. They make great stocking stuffers. Food is a great gift. I see all these high dollar boards and packages and things, which I'm not knocking anybody's business, but you can buy one bottle of sauce with us and we'll be thankful. So check it out, and jrsbarbecue.com. The site never closes. We're always adding new things. We have price breaks on different stuff. So I appreciate your business, quite frankly.
20% off seasonings, 40% off remaining gift boxes, $28 family packs. JR's new hats are here and they're 20% off.
I'm wearing one, Conrad.
Black hat. Come on now.
I'm wearing one, baby.
Go grab it. I can't believe this is real. He's even got jerky in stock right now. There's something for everybody. It's perfect. And if you go ahead and place your order today, you'll get it in time for Christmas. That's jrsbbq.com. Jim, there's a lot of fun wrestling happening with the Continental Classic and John Cena's last match and World's End. And we're going to be watching some old school wrestling here next week. I thank you for all the time today, and I can't wait for next week, man. This was great.
Me too. Our format is new. It's fresh. We're still working the bugs out, but it sure is fun for an old announcer to go back and call matches from back in the day.
Tell a friend to go check out the all new Grilling JR. He is the voice of wrestling, and we'll see you next week right here at grillingjr.com.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks and join us next week.
Did you put Christmas on a credit card? Don't stress out about that extra holiday spending. SaveWithConrad.com can help you consolidate all of your high interest rate credit cards into one much lower monthly payment. SaveWithConrad.com has helped families just like yours save up to $800 a month. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. And did I mention no payments until March? So don't make saving money a resolution next year. Make it happen today at SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.